Okay, so still talking about feedback. Yeah. One thing that is very important to take note of as well too is that you don't sometimes your focus should not only be about what your customers are saying, but sometimes you need to observe what they are doing. And now that might sound a bit of a twist because if you look at the incidents of when Twitter decided to stretch from 140 to 280 characters, a lot of people were going all out to say, "Oh, why no? We want our 140 characters." But they've probably observed better to look at it and realize that maybe a lot of people still find it so difficult to box things into that 140 characters or something. And because they've observed what people are really doing, they know that, well, they might make noise a bit, but after a while, they will all start using the 280 characters. We have a lot of tweets today that are more than 140 characters, and everyone is pretty much enjoying it a lot. So, that being said, it's that whatever the business it is that you're doing, you need to find a way of observing your user behavior, observe your consumer behavior. So, with this whole thing that is happening right now about COVID-19 and things like that, the main thing that is going to drive the change is what are the changes you would experience in consumer behaviors. Will people now prefer to just sit down at their house and speak over the phone and don't want to come to your shop again or something like that? What are the things that people will change? Maybe people who have found it difficult buying things online before, maybe a number of them have now bought a number of things online and they've read, oh, it's not bad, and they are likely to buy more stuff online. Now, if that's going to shift in the set of whatever it is you're selling, then you also want to make sure you shift, because your focus as a business is to always be where the customers are. So in understanding the feedback from your customer, it's not just what they say, but it's also what they do. You need to be observant. So there is something that is very popular, a framework called design thinking, and I teach it a lot in my course around business agility and the rest. So the design thinking framework just pretty much says when you're trying to do things, you start from the observing the customers. So there's a framework, the very popular one in design thinking. There are a number of options there, but a very popular one says you start from empathy, which is you're not trying to focus what exactly it is right now, but you're just trying to understand your customers or what it is that they're actually doing really. And whatever business it is you're doing, you can actually empathize with your customers. You can observe them. If you're an hairdresser, for instance, you understand when the lockdown happened and people cannot come out to plait their hair, or maybe some people are still even afraid to go to the salon to plait their hair right now. You don't know when that lockdown happened. If you have empathy towards your customers and you observe them, you realize at that point that even though they can't come out to you, to your shop or to wherever it is you make your hair for people, but they have this need to be met. Is there a way you could meet with that need for them? Is there a way you could shoot a video on how they can do some basic things to take care of their hair? Is there a way? So you observe what it is that they need at that point, and you are able to meet them at the point of that need. There are, I think it was Abe that was putting out a tweet that he knows a number of hairdressers who are still cashing out in this period. There are things that those guys have been able to do, and whatever it is they've done, it's rooted in the fact that they focused on their customers. What are the needs of our customers right now, and how can we meet that need? So empathy is where you start from when trying to really design a solution or design something, really focusing on the customers, the users, and all that. And you move on to define whatever the problem is. So by the time you define the problem, then you come out with ideas. So the next step being ideas on how to solve that problem. Then when you come out with the ideas, the next thing you want to do is to test it. Before you implement it, you test it. So this is one thing that no matter the business you're doing, it's very important to test things. Don't just think, oh, I think this is a good idea. A lot of people are ordering extra keyboards now since they are working at home. So let me just take an order of 200,000 pieces or something, and then you realize that after a while nobody needs it again. You need to try to test. That is a very classic example of the company Zappos. When they wanted to start selling shoes, they didn't buy the shoes first, just put a basic website out there, and when people indicate interest on the website, they went to a shop, buy the shoes and sent it to them. When they realize that people are going to take up that product, then the next thing is expand on it. So if you're looking to add a new thing to your product, you're trying to diversify your business a little, sometimes test it. Just do a little thing here to maybe check with your close family, your family and friends, or your closest customers or something, to get some quick feedback on it, and then you can fine tune, you can improve on it, and then deliver something that is much more bigger. And if there's any time as this where we need to be thinking of what can we do different in our business, it is this period now, because we might think, oh, it's just COVID and it's past, but a number of things are changing. For instance, the whole globalization thing is affected a lot, because you have countries that are still closing their borders. Even those that have gotten rid of COVID-19 still needs to be careful. They're probably going to close their borders for however long it takes for other country to sort the issue. So, and with closed borders, is there going to bring more opportunities in your line of business? If people have been importing the stuff that they sell and now they cannot really import, or the cost of importation is higher and all that, are there other alternatives you need to be thinking about? Whatever it is, come up with such ideas and find a way to test it on a smaller scale, get some feedback from your users and be able to improve from there. So in talking about feedback, what I've just tried to express here is that don't just focus on what people are saying, try to focus on what they are doing. That means you need to be carefully observing people, observing trend, observing changes. When you go on Instagram and social media and the likes, as a business person, you're not just going there to flick through and move ahead. You're going there to look at it, at what are people doing, how are people reacting to this, and how can you position yourself as well to be able to offer a solution to the problems that you've identified. So thank you very much. I believe that, this is something that it takes 10, 12 hours sometimes to go through a lot of all this content and this conversation. But I've just tried to do these short videos to kickstart the conversation. So I'm hoping to get questions from you and then we could interact during the day. It's a working day for a lot of us. So we'll probably just be coming in maybe during lunch break and then later in the evening to have a lot of chats around answering questions. And I'm happy for a lot of other people to contribute their own thoughts as well too. Yeah, thank you very much. And please give me feedback also. If you don't want to put the feedback in the open, you can send me a message directly on WhatsApp and say, hey, Dari, I don't like this. Maybe I don't like your glasses. Don't use it next time you're shooting a video. So that's just a joke. So, but I'd love to hear your feedback. If I was talking too fast, or if you didn't like an example, if you preferred a better example, I just really, really want to hear what you think. Thank you very much.